And we're live.
Woo!
This is so wonderful.
So exciting.
I feel like at some point we need to have a song.
Like the theme song that we
Oh,
played.
like in the beginning?
Yes, like if we're gonna do like a real podcast, like we need to have like an actual
That's specific to us.
That
Yeah.
would actually be really cool.
Yeah. It's just like, dang, somebody talented that watches our stuff, like, can you do us a huge favor and just, I don't know, create something fantastical? That'll be great. Thanks.
Hook us up.
Just like
So how's everybody's day been so far?
I have been super productive.
Really?
Like I almost got my shop queue of orders down to 0. I've got like 8 left that I know I'm gonna get done tonight. And I'm like so proud of myself. I'm like, oh, I might have time to design some new things.
Yay!
That is amazing.
Yeah, because it's really like I'm one of those people that I feel like I can't do new releases when I have a whole bunch of stuff. Like when I have a whole bunch of orders, I feel like it's wrong of me to do new releases while still trying to get those orders out.
Right.
Because then it's like, oh, sis, you got time for the new releases, but you ain't got time to fill my orders. So
exactly.
This is the truth. You know, good and well, people would be like giving you the side eye, like,
Right. And I want to avoid that at all costs. So I am almost done. I'm very proud of myself.
That
My
is
machine's
awesome.
been acting right, everything. So that's all I've been doing today.
I just hate how time consuming editing videos for YouTube is.
Oh, I did that this morning too. I edited videos this morning and then I worked on my shop this afternoon. I feel like I need to hire somebody to do either or, you know, where it's like you need to hire somebody to either edit the videos or caption the videos or both.
It's a lot of work. Like I'm just like, every time I do it and I see how much time it's taking me, I always think to myself, there's got to be an easier way, but there isn't.
No. And then, you know, it's like if you want to make it better, then you really have to commit that time. And then you're just like,
yes.
But when I do it, I feel better after I do it. But during the process, no. Like,
yeah, no. I mean, when you see the finished result, obviously, it's like, oh, this is wonderful. I'm glad I took the time and effort to really make this, you know, up to your standards. Because it's like your standards are high, but the process of getting to those high standards is really annoying.
Yes.
But it always takes me like all day and then I don't really accomplish anything else. And it's just like, great.
I literally have that mid-year freak out book tag and the Black Booktuber book tag sitting on my computer, and it'll probably never get edited for the simple fact I cannot do it.
I mean, you are doing that super, aren't you still doing that super crazy summer school schedule?
I am. I actually have stuff due tomorrow.
See, like, when would you have time to edit tag videos? When
seriously.
You have actual
work? You know, I would love to use that excuse.
I'm trying.
But then I have to remember that literally in 2018, like, y'all remember we talked about this, that I went like almost a whole year and did not post a single video. And I was not in school. So
look, I was trying to help you out, but you told on yourself. So
well, now that we have quite a few of you in here, I want to welcome you all to our second test podcast, Black Prose Club's second test. So thank you for joining us this evening. My name is Oshale of Oshi Reads.
I'm Brittany from Melanin Eclectic.
And I am Troy Nicole from Inkflare Studio.
And this evening, we are going to be discussing friendships in the book community, not just on BookTube, but on other platforms of the online book community like BookTwitter, Bookstagram, and our experiences basically making friends with other creators and other people who are part of the book community, and just everything that we've experienced along the way and what comes with online friendships of this kind. So yeah, we're going to go ahead and get started. Oh my God. Is it that bad?
No, I mean, it's not bad. It's just that, first of all, being an adult, like trying to make friends as an adult is already difficult. Like you realize after you graduated from college and you were like, oh, okay, I'm going to start my job and da 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 da. And then you realize like, wow, I don't just have like a plethora of people around for me to pick from.
Right.
Now it's like, because I don't like befriending my coworkers. Like I like keeping that clean separation. So
Me
obviously
too.
no friends there. But then I want to go out, but it's not safe to go out alone. So then I don't. And that's an excuse to stay home. So then I turn to BookTube and like, oh, look, I've got friends. But are they my friends?
Oh, man. You know, it's so interesting because for years I did BookTube and I didn't really have any friends per se. I had like a weird experience with friends on BookTube. First, when I first joined BookTube, I actually wasn't even a part of BookTube. I was actually a part of AuthorTube because NaNoWriMo 2014 was how I started my channel.
Oh.
That was I think my very first video was actually on, I want to say it was like on Halloween or the day before Halloween. And it was talking about how I was going to do NaNoWriMo. And I was asking for friends because I didn't know, I had just learned about NaNoWriMo. I didn't know anybody else that was doing it. And I was just like, hey, I'm doing this thing. I've never done it before. If you're doing it too, please reach out to me, because I was looking for like a support group. And I made friends with these three girls. These three girls and I became really close during that time. And two of us still speak to this day, even though two of them don't make videos anymore.
Wow.
Yes. And so like to this day, we're still close. And so it was just interesting because once they stopped making videos, I was kind of like the only person left making videos. And I didn't have anyone else to talk to about BookTube, because I switched, once NaNoWriMo ended, I switched over to BookTube because I had been watching BookTube for years and I always wanted to be a part of it. So I just switched over. And I remember back then, there weren't that many Black booktubers. And if there were out there, like it was hard to find. Like even if you searched it on YouTube, it was really hard to find. And we were all kind of like just distant from each other. No one really spoke to one another. And then the other booktubers that I tried to befriend, like it was all very like competitive. Like people only spoke to people that had the same amount of subscribers as them. Or higher. So like the smaller booktubers also had like their own cliques and stuff. And I just never found like a group. And so I was just kind of doing it on my own until honestly, I decided to start this book club. And then it must have been God. I know not everyone believes in God, but I do. It's like things like this that make me believe in God, because I literally sat down and went through a list of people thinking about who to invite. Because keep in mind, I don't talk to anybody on this platform. Like it's like hi in the comments.
Wait, are we telling the origin story of this group? Because that's hilarious.
That's hilarious.
Like I literally don't really talk to people like that on BookTube. Like I comment and we say hi, bye, but I don't really talk to anybody. And so I'm going through my list. And I remember I found Troy's video because remember we started talking about diversity when all those white booktubers and Naya were invited to the set of The Hate You Give.
Yes.
And everybody was pissed. And we were talking about his BookTube racist and all this stuff. And all these videos started popping up. And I was like, oh my God, there's so many Black booktubers. Like I had no idea. And I remember I saw Troy's video and she was just like filming her little dorm room.
Oh yeah.
And I was like, I like her. You were like very low key and you said a lot of profound things in your videos, but you would say them so casually. Like you would just be like, this is the truth, don't know what to tell you. And I was just like, I like her. And so then I subscribed and I started watching her videos. And then I found Brittany next. And I was like, oh my God, look at all the videos she has. She's been on here as long as me. Like, how did I not know about this girl? And I saw all the stuff that you did, like hair and makeup. So then I started watching your videos. And then I found like Injuri. And then I found from Onyx Pages. Then I found Jordan. I've
Oh,
started
left on
finding
read.
people.
Yep.
Yeah, and so for some reason, something just told me to reach out to the two of you. I don't know why. It just felt like, I don't know. And here we are.
It was fate. It was the fate that brought you here. The fate.
I'm
I know.
not going to put out how I know Oshale because we're not bringing any negativity onto this.
Screw that. I know her from her Zenith review. That was the first video I ever watched of Oshale.
Y'all are so shady.
Oshale, come on now. That was like,
Please.
I swear, every single big booktuber that was bad mouthing people about Zenith, I was like, oh, this is about Oshale. Like, period.
It was, yeah, because like right before that, all the videos I had watched of Zenith were like, oh, this book is so amazing. I'm so happy for them. Da, 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 da. And then like the first part of your book is you zoomed in like, who did this? And I was like, oh, she's the kind of person I like. That'll work.
I was actually like dreading making that video. I was encouraged to make it by gosh, he doesn't even make videos anymore. We talk about him all this time, but he doesn't make booktube videos anymore. I can't remember his name. Y'all remember him? Caleb, I think. Is his name Caleb?
Yeah.
I think so. I don't even remember.
He used to make all those videos about
It was an Insane Reader, right?
Yes, Insane Reader. I saw Insane Reader's video, and that's what gave me the courage to make mine, because I wanted to talk about it, but I was like, ooh, she's like, they're both like pretty big booktubers. I don't want to be that person. And then I made my video and I watched it. I remember editing it and I was like, this isn't that bad. This isn't bad at all.
I really didn't think it was me at all.
I didn't think it was bad. It was nice to see somebody speak the truth, because it was very clear that other people were like afraid to say real thoughts, because all we got was, it's great. This is such a good read. I really enjoyed it. They did such a good job. And I was like, okay, but like, is it worth buying? And then I watched your video and I never bought the book. I never even read the book. Honestly.
I never read the book either.
I feel terrible.
Do you? Do you really?
No.
But wait, I think I told you guys this, and it's still so funny to me that I actually wrote out a rejection to being in this book club.
Oh, wait, what?
I didn't tell you guys that.
No.
Yes, when I got Oshale's, first Oshale commented under that video. Don't go try and look for it, guys. It is deleted. It's not there anymore. It's privated, but you can't really hear me because my roommate was asleep and I didn't keep it, so whatever. But shortly after that, Oshale commented on that video saying that she had a proposition for me, and I was just like, okay. And I had no idea what she was going to say, and I got the email, and I think it took me like 3 or 4 days to answer, and I was just like, I don't like people. I don't want to be friends with anybody. I don't want to.
Oh my God.
Damn.
I was so exhausted.
I had no idea you were going to reject us.
But it wasn't okay. First of all, I didn't know who Brittany was at first, because like I told you guys, I really didn't watch. At that time, I stopped watching BookTube, and it wasn't until the stuff about Black booktubers came out that I had started watching again. So I was just like, I wasn't even really into BookTube, and I was just like, I didn't know if I could really commit myself to doing it, and I didn't want to then say okay and then no, I didn't have the time or commitment. So my best friend and roommate at the time, Dooney, she was like, well, are you going to regret saying no later? Like, if you say no and let's say this book club does really well and you miss out on the opportunity to be in a book club that's doing so good for y'all's community, would you be upset? And I was just like, well, shit, yeah, why'd you say that? I really wanted to say no. So literally that night, I was just like, okay, what is the worst that can happen? And so I was just like, I really love Oshale's content. And then I think in the email you told me about Brittany, and I went and I literally binge watched Brittany's videos, and I became like obsessed with her, and I just never said anything about it.
It's cool.
I am crying.
And I deleted the whole rejection email, and I was just like, you know what? Because a lot of it had to do with my anxiety and just that I didn't know if I could stomach it. And I didn't want to like have you guys depend on me being in it and then like fake out on it, because I hate people like that. I don't like promising something and then like going, oh no, I'm not going to do this. So, and then I had no booktube friends either. So I was just like, well, you know, if worse comes to worse, I'll just be like deuces. And so I said, okay. And that is the only reason. So shout out to Dooney. That is the only reason.
Right.
Shout out to the bestie. Shout out to the bestie.
Shout out. We need to send her a fruit basket or something.
Right.
Jesus.
It's like, holy crap. I didn't
Oh,
hesitate
gosh.
at all. I was just like, ooh, people who want to talk to me. Like, totally,
Yeah.
let's do that. That's basically what my thought was when I got the hey, I got an idea. And I was like, a Black girl book club? This is dreams.
Also, I feel like going to Book Net Fest that year, like you and I,
Oh, yeah.
we all wanted to go, but Troy couldn't. So Brittany and I were like, all right, we'll definitely go. And keep in mind, Brittany and I had never met in real life.
Nope.
And we were like, all
Never.
right, we're going to go. And going to Book Net Fest is honestly what opened the door for so many other friendships and meeting so many other people and bonding with them and being like, wow, this is crazy. And it's like, it's weird. It was like instant bonds were formed.
Yes.
And it's like you felt you knew people, you had known these people for so long. And it's like, no, we've only known each other for 48 hours.
Right. It was like, I mean, I watch you on my TV regularly, but like I never thought that A, I would see you in person, and then B, you actually know who I am. That's wild. Like, this is crazy.
I
Yeah,
did have a
that was-
fangirl moment as well, because when you commented under my video, I was just like, holy shit, Ocean Reeves knows who I am.
Y'all are so
Right?
dumb.
I think at the time that we started the book club, I think I was under 1,000 subscribers at the time too. So it was really like,
I definitely was.
because we started in what, 2018?
Yeah, something
Yeah.
like that. It's been a while.
Yeah, 2018 was the year that I finally hit 1,000 subscribers.
Which is criminal, because I think that was one of the first things I thought when because my channel literally only had 2,000 subscribers, and before I made the Zenith video, and before I had those 2,000 subscribers, I had less. I think I had like almost 1,000 or just about 1,000, and the only reason I went from 1,000 to 2,000 is this really cool booktuber gave me a shout out. And she had a bigger platform. So she just gave me a shout out. And I wasn't expecting it because I didn't even know she knew who I was. And she gave me a shout out. And then all of a sudden, all these people subscribed. And I was like, wait, what's happening? Like, I kept getting all these notifications. And I was like, what's going on? So that's how I went from like a little under 1,000 or just about 1,000 to where I was before Zenith. And then I didn't expect the Zenith video to do what it did because, like I said, I just made my videos. I didn't interact with the book community. I wasn't on book Twitter. So I didn't understand that negativity would be so popular. Like,
and see, I've been on book Twitter since I started my channel in 2015. And when I saw your video pop up, I was like, oh, this is about to be some shit. Let me watch this.
Oh no. I had no idea. And then all of a sudden I just started seeing like it started getting more and more views. And I remember because I would be at work and I actually started having a panic attack.
Oh,
And
no.
I did, because it literally went from like 200 views to like 400 to like 1,000 to like 5,000 to like 10,000, like very quickly. And I kept getting notifications of people commenting, because this is when I still had my notifications on my phone. I don't have them on anymore. And my coworker who at the job I was at, she was actually a good friend of mine as well. She was like, oh, Shalay, are you okay? And I was like, I think my video is going viral. I don't know what's happening. I was like not excited about it.
Oh no. I mean,
On one
I don't even
hand,
know
I
what
was
to
like,
say.
yay. But on the other hand, I was like, oh no. Because then you get more dislikes. Then you get people making like mean comments. And I had also seen what had happened to Insane Reader, because I remember I made my video and then a few days went by, or like a week, and then he made a video talking about how he was being bullied.
Oh yeah.
And I was like, oh no.
You were like, I'm not ready for this.
I was like, I don't want none of this smoke. Like, I don't, especially because I'm thinking, well, essentially, I want to be an author, and I might have to be in a conversation with these ladies one day in person. It is what it is.
I mean, that's why I think it was the boldness of the video that made it like so crazy that it was like, holy mess, she's actually talking to me. Like, does she know who I am? Because again, in my mind, I watch you guys all the time. So it was just like, is she sure that she wants me to be a part of this? Because like these girls actually been like doing book reviews and stuff until like, it was crazy. Like it was one of those moments where you're just like, wow. But thanks to BookNet Fest, I was like, okay, yeah, I made a good decision. Even though that was like almost a year. That was like a year almost of us doing it.
Yeah, it really was.
And Jerry even says she thought that we were longtime friends. We literally met BookNet Fest.
Yes. And even then, like, I remember when we started the book club, for a while, we didn't even really talk to each other like that.
Nope.
No.
Like we had our first live. I remember our first live was like a little awkward because we literally had just met each other before that live.
Oh, and we didn't even have a group chat. We would like talk to each other on Instagram.
Yep.
Yes. And then after our first live, we stayed on the live until once the live ended, and we all just like realized that we all like got along.
Yeah, it was one of the lives where we just ended up talking for like a long time afterward. And I'm like, oh, these girls are actually cool. Like, okay. And then, and then I learned that the whole chaotic person that Troy is actually hilarious. God. Whereas like Oshale clearly is like the most well-spoken of all of us, but like deep down, her petty is just as bad as mine. So I felt
I think Oshale's petty is a little bit worse.
Sometimes it is, man, because sometimes I wake up and I'm like, ooh.
But see, I'm only like that with people I feel comfortable with, because most people are like, oh, like I can come off a little standoffish or quietish, but that's only because I like to observe until I get comfortable with people, and then I'm like, okay, I can trust these people, and then I let my guard down a little bit more. But that's just how I've always been. Like, you won't really know who I am until you know who I am, because you just can't be letting anybody, as we've clearly seen on Book Twitter, you can't just be like,
listen, y'all gotta stop. Like this is just a message to help y'all out. Just because y'all have a similar interest in books or y'all have a similar something don't mean you need to start a group chat with everybody, because it'll be on Twitter. Screenshot it for everybody to see. Like, Don't do that to yourself. Like, be careful. Like, friends mean things, even in this world where there's such a detachment for human interaction. Friendship's still supposed to mean something. So, like, I consider Oshale and Troy friends. Like, I don't have to worry about what I say, or I don't have to worry about us getting into an argument and then me seeing it on Twitter before I even get a chance to like handle it. We don't do that in our group. If there's an issue, it gets handled in our group and then we laugh about it later. Just like, don't do that to yourself, guys.
I think that because we all spend so much time online, and like when you're as passionate about books as we all are, it can make it almost seem like a false sense of intimacy with other people. And it's like, just because you're bonding and fangirling or boing or theying over, Six of Crows, I'm just picking the more popular one, Six of Crows or whatever, does not mean that you and this person are, it could, but it also does not mean that you and this person are long lost soulmates. You have to vet people a little bit better. And what I've seen is controversy sells, so it's hard for me to tell what's genuine and what's not genuine when people keep exposing people. I feel like there's two types of exposure. There's the type of exposure that a lot of it we're experiencing right now, where finally Black booktubers and booktubers of color finally have a voice, because the majority, being the white booktubers, are actually listening to us now.
Yep.
And want to hear our concerns and are trying to clear a space for us in this community. So you have that type of exposure going on, which I feel is healthy, because you need to expose the people that have been hurting you and silencing you. That I don't have a problem with. The exposure I do have a problem with is when people are supposedly friends, quote unquote friends, because they're in these group chats with one another, and then all of a sudden all of their dirty laundry gets aired out on Twitter. And I have an issue with that, because if you're supposedly friends and you're friendly enough to give them your phone number and have a group chat outside of Twitter, Instagram, any social media platform, you should be able to handle that privately behind closed doors, unless it's just grown to such a toxic situation that it needs to be brought to the public. So that's like the two sides of the coin. And I feel like that's why we wanted to make this live, because we almost want to caution people. Because I just see people like, oh, I'm in a group chat with this person, I'm in a group chat, I'm doing this, I'm doing that. And I'm just like, I give it 2 weeks before I see something off of Twitter.
But like, honestly though, think about it. We didn't actually make a group chat until like 6 months into it.
Yeah, pretty much.
And then even then the group chat was, hey, are y'all good with this Sunday or that Saturday? Like
Right.
It wasn't even like actual talking. Like we actually took the time to learn things about each other. And like we're not in person. Granted, me and Troy literally live in the same city sometimes, but we work very well in our introverted ways. So that's why our friendship works like that. But at the same time, it's like, these are people that I would actually want to hang out with in real life and have planned. 2020 destroyed all of our plans, but like we planned to hang out together and like build memories together that wasn't only internet connected, because our generation and the generation after us, like we are internet heavy. We live in these fantasy worlds online where in real life, we're nothing like that. It's like in real life, I work a regular job and I come home and have to be adult and all that stuff. But online, I'm just this mouthy Black chick who does makeup and stuff sometimes, but will also like lay somebody out verbally. These are two different personas I get to give out. Will I do this in real life? Yeah, but the likelihood of that happening in real life is way less than on Twitter.
Right.
And you know what? I always find so interesting that when somebody is in a friend group chat, whether it's 2 people or 2 or more people, the person that's doing the call out always gets all the sympathy. And I'm just like, okay, in toxic situations where this person is really just being cruel and mean, and if they're being racist or homophobic, I understand. But when it's just a disagreement between 2 people, I'm like, to me, you seem just as vindictive as the person you're trying to have everyone come for, because you're putting all that person's business out there instead of just coming to an agreement to be like, you know what? I thought this friendship was this, but instead, why don't we just go our separate ways? Because listen, if this group chat falls the fuck apart, I'm not going to go and like screen record every message that you guys have sent me and put it on Twitter. Like, I like, it just wouldn't happen, like, at all. Like, I swear, like, Brittany could literally, I don't know, have sex with my boyfriend. I would have done all that. Like, it's not like, it's too much. Like, I guess I just don't really understand how things that seem so small and really aren't that important can be put on Twitter, and then it's like, oh, everyone come attack this one person.
Especially if it's against Black women versus Black women.
Yes. Oh my God, I hate that. I hate to see us throw each other under the bus. I hate to see us kind of air out our dirty laundry or family business, as we call it, in front of the world, because we're already being seen as entertainment. We already have to fight against all these negative stereotypes against us. And I understand, like, someone might say, well, I felt like I was being really hurt and I had no other alternative but to go to social media. Everybody has to make that judgment call for themselves. But I think overall, when you're setting up another Black woman to be, destroyed, or whatever the case may be, have their reputation destroyed, or have people come for them, so to speak, you're opening up to people from other communities and the majority community to come for them as well. And I feel like if we're trying to build up this Black booktube community and we're really trying to come together and uplift one another, then I think that that's really something that we have to take a look at very, very carefully, because it could end up backfiring on us and could actually end up looking like we don't care to build a community after all, that we're just trying to take advantage of the situation that's happening right now where we have heightened visibility, and you're just trying to gain as many numbers or followers, clout, whatever you want to say, as possible. And it can come off very coonish. And I think you just have to be careful. You don't want to, it can come off very coonish, or like you're trying to be like the token Black, or you're trying to appease white people, whatever you want to say. It's not a good look. And I think that a little bit more care needs to be taken in these situations. Like, you have to weigh the pros and the cons. Is this person's behavior really so toxic and harmful to you that you really feel like you have to go to this public platform where you're basically creating a situation where they're in the court of public opinion, and it's like a stoning? It's not even like a court. They're just getting stoned to death, metaphorically. You have to weigh the pros and cons, and I don't see enough care being taken, and that bothers me.
Look, I'm going to just say this. I'm real tired of us being reality TV for non-Black booktubers. I am real tired of it, because that's essentially what we're being.
Facts.
You get on social media and then you air out other Black people's personal business, or what you guys are talking about in a group chat. And I'm not talking about an instance where, someone is bullying you, or someone is saying something, I won't say racist because that doesn't make sense, but coonish in a chat. But if there is not a way for you to come to a positive agreement, at the very least, to say, you know what, we're already looked at like savages. We're already looked at as, not well-mannered. I just don't fuck with you. Move on. That's it. Like, I don't understand why it then has to be, oh, I want to uplift Black booktubers. I want us to have a voice. And then you get on social media and you're like, I'm going to expose all this. And I'm just like, you can't say that you want to uplift Black booktubers and then at the same time get on social media and decide that you're going to air out all someone's dirty laundry.
Yeah, honestly, that to me, it's just, we have to treat ourselves better than how we're treating ourselves. You can't expect other people to treat you better than how you're treating yourself. So if you're out here, and I get it, feelings get hurt, we get a little bit irrational. We feel like we need to be heard, but Twitter is not the place. It's like, take it to your real friend. If that group that you're in is like just for YouTube, because if you're using that group for YouTube to grow, by all means, use that group to grow your base. And if you need to vent to somebody else first, because Twitter is a bunch of strangers, and all they're doing is just literally waiting for someone to drop someone else into the center of the ring that they can attack them next. It's literally like, it's like every day we get on Twitter, I'll be like, so does BookTube actually read?
Never. I feel like a lot of shit with BookTube would be real simple if people was reading books and not all up each other's business.
Listen, but like, if we could have a whole week of where the only BookTube drama is if an author decided they wanted to write a very racist depiction of an African American, or if the book that was supposed to be coming out was only 400 pages and not 800 pages. Like, if we could have like real book chats on Twitter, that would be great, because most of the time it's half the people subtweeting, half the time it's people just being like, God damn, I'm tired. And then, the other third of the people are the ones that are like, I'm here, I'm going to say what's right, I'm going to do this. It's like, do you have to though? Can we? Because like, even Black Twitter is not like this.
It's not.
So I'm like, why is
it's a little bit more lighthearted?
Yeah, but like, it's like beauty community is on crack, obviously. But like, I had no idea that BookTube and the beauty community would be on the same level, because I started off in the beauty community. And then I ventured over here because I thought it would be way more chill, way less drama. But now I'm like, so...
I hate to be one of those people, but I feel like back in the earlier days of BookTube, where there was probably just like a lot of less people, that it
Yeah.
was probably less dramatic than it is now. Because now I think people are really trying to, grow subscribers and grow their channels, and they're meeting each other on social media platforms that aren't YouTube, and then voicing opinions and all this other stuff through Twitter, more specifically Twitter. And because of that, I feel like it brings in more drama. I don't want to sound like, oh, I missed YouTube back in the day. Like, I don't want to sound like that. But at the same time, in retrospect, it is like that, because at one point, even though BookTube is still small now, it was even smaller, back in like 2010 and 2011. There really weren't as many people as there are now. And so when you
Right.
add more and more people and more differing opinions, you're going to have people start arguing. And, I would rather get on social media and see people yelling about whether or not they like the new Talia Hibbert book. But instead, it's like, this HOE said this in this group chat. Oh, but let me tell you about what she said in this group chat. And I'm just like, I really don't care.
Yeah, I think for me, I wouldn't mind the drama if the drama was strictly about people who were toxic and harmful that needed to be spotlighted so you could stop supporting them. That's understandable. It's like, okay, this person is a piece of shit. I need to stop supporting them immediately. And obviously, if they give a genuine apology, that's a different story. But y'all don't know how to genuinely apologize these days. Okay, we could.
But I say Twitter does. I've noticed we're not good at apologizing, nor are we good at accepting apologies either.
Right. Also that, like when someone actually genuinely apologized, we're like, no, fuck you. Still, it's like,
right. Like, now don't get me wrong. People like Voldemort and everything, they talked out the side of their mouth and then tried to act like they wanted to play the Karen victim. Right. And all of BookTube was like, so this is unacceptable. Like, we're done. At the very same time, we saw a whole bunch of people. Oh, that brings up the next topic. At the very same time, that brought up another set of drama, because then a booktuber decided to use their platform to defend it, which brings up another statement of very much importance. If you do not represent the community that was offended, do us all a favor and shut the fuck up.
Yes. Oh my goodness. If you do not identify with the community that's under attack and that actually is the community that's hurt, and the people within that community are the ones that would need to accept the apology or forgive or whatever the case, please just have several seats. Just sit there, eat your food. Just please.
Right. Like, how dare you make a whole video standing in your wrong and then want to play victim? Like, this wasn't about you. You inserted yourself in a place where you didn't belong. Your place was on the sidelines watching and seeing how you could help the people that were affected. But also, Book Twitter loves to play victim. So we also have that issue with Book Twitter. I saw that mess and I was like, you know what? And the worst part about it is, the more controversial you can be, the more likely you will jump up in subscribers, because old girl jumped up in subscribers like crazy.
But is it worth it? Here's my thing. If your content is okay, this is a double-edged sword, because as a booktuber, I think I know exactly what you're talking about. But as a booktuber who's part of the majority community, if your content, you already have a leg up because people gonna subscribe to you because you're white.
Yep.
Okay. If your content is not bringing in the subscribers to the point where you have to have, or you're not satisfied with your growth, because these channels still grow, even if they grow at a slower pace, they still grow.
Yep.
Is it worth it to literally grow off of controversy? Because the people that come to your channel from controversy are not going to stay for non-controversy. Does that make sense? Like, if controversy is what brought them there, they're going to want to see more. So if you are not going to be willing to keep that up, is it worth it? And that's something that I can speak of from personal experience, because when I got all those subscribers from making the Zenith video, I knew very good and well why they were there. And they were thinking that I was going to continue on in that same vein. And that was part of my anxiety, because I was like, I don't typically make these type of videos. I don't like typically being so negative towards a book. A book review is one thing where you don't like the book. It's another thing to have kind of like a pithy, scripted, complete tear down of a book or an author. Like, that's not who I am. I'm not going to do that. I don't even really hate read books. If I don't like a book, you're never going to hear me talk about it.
Right.
Probably.
But also, there's a major difference between you and who Brittany's talking about. And
how do you know her name? I refuse to learn that girl's name because she invalidated an entire group of people because of her opinion.
Her and poorly researched opinion.
Right. It was like, you got on the internet and just spoke out the side of your neck.
Lord.
Like, go talk to the people you live with. Leave us alone.
But also, like, as far as like, if you're already a big booktuber, especially if you're a white bigger booktuber, it's going to be insanely hard for you to fall, because there is a particular big booktuber who I hear so many terrible things about. Like, I'm like, y'all have met this girl at like BookCon and Book Expo, and y'all say she's so horrible. But homegirl still is. I was about to say something that would obviously pinpoint her.
Let's not identify her here.
Yeah, I'm not going to identify her. I wasn't going to say her name, but it's what I was about to say was going to identify her. But she's still big, and I'm just like, but all these people I have heard say terrible things about her personality, and I'm just like, and that's the major difference. You know, someone's going to look at Oshile and be like, oh, there's this dark-skinned girl who's hating on this white author. I'm going to follow her because she's going to keep being mean. She's going to keep being loud and ignorant. But vice versa, if someone else does it, then it's like, oh, well, I do like their other content. I guess I don't have the same book taste as you, but I'm going to stay because I really like you. It's totally different when a white person does it versus a Black person doing it.
It absolutely is. And it's kind of like, I guess I understand why controversy is selling and why she made that video, because it paid off. But it's, unless she continues to make, well, I guess you're right, Troy. Like, they're going to stay regardless. They're going to watch her do vlogs or whatever.
The Bigot Chronicles.
Right. Sorry. I don't even know. Ooh, we are spilling the tea today, but we are not naming names because
it's not even spilling tea. Everybody knows who we're talking about. Like, I never took the time to learn their names because I feel like anybody who takes the time and energy to get online and tell a group of people, tell them they're not valid, you got to be a different type of scum to me, because we're Black. We've been told we're invalid our entire lives.
Right.
So why would I get online and go support a person who's also spreading that same kind of rhetoric to people who are just minding their own business?
Just minding their business.
Like, they just randomly getting attacked. And then it's like, well, dang, am I not supposed to, like, I feel the urge to defend them, because it's like, well, what y'all not gonna do is take your Karen and interject it into these like places you don't belong. But yeah, honestly. And I think another thing is our mindset is a little bit different. We know controversy sells. We talk about it all the time, but none of us want to make any controversial videos to go with it. I know I would be monetized by now if I started reading people the way that I want to in my brain and made videos on it. I would be monetized years ago. But
Let
then
me tell y'all, if I literally did book reviews the way I do book reviews when I'm talking about books with you guys, oh my gosh, the number of subscribers I would have would be immense. But I just, and it's like Oshile said, I don't want to bash an author because I know, like, regardless of if I liked it or not, this person spent a lot of work, time, and effort on this book, and just because I hate it does not mean everyone else who reads it hates it. I'll see a book that I give 1 star and people will be like, this is a 5-star read. And I'm just like, oh my God, are you illiterate? But see, like,
yeah, it happens to me all the time.
but it's just like, it's just your personal taste. And I don't want to bash an author and then, okay. One video I did private. I did bash one author and I don't regret it. And I don't like her. And I still think she's a bigot. But I like went off I think in late 2018, when I came back from that hiatus that I accidentally did, I like went off about this book that she wrote where it was like the main guy was Asian, but the front cover was two white people, and there was just so many racist things said in this book, and it was like a YA love story, and I was just like, what is this? And after I did that, I was just like, I got a lot of views, a lot of likes, and I was just like, I don't, but I know I'm not going to always do that because
Right.
I dislike a lot of books, like a lot of books, and especially in the romance genre, because you can really have a hit or a miss with romance.
Mm-hmm.
But I just don't want to make my booktube based on who am I going to bash next. I don't want people to be like, oh, let's watch Bookish Waffler because I know she's going to get in somebody's ass. Like, I just don't want to do that.
Right. Like,
Yeah.
oh, Black girl angry. I refuse to have that as my platform. I refuse.
Yeah, I'm very aware of that stereotype as well. And that's why I've always steered clear of doing that. And also, it's just not in my character to be able to continually keep that up. It's like, I can definitely look at people who do things like that. And as long as they're enjoying what they're doing, do you. But I know for me, I wouldn't enjoy it. And I'm not about to do something that is not even my career or paying my bills. Really, like the little coin that I get from BookTube is not worth for me to do something that I don't enjoy just to have content. It doesn't make any sense.
Because, she monetized.
You will get there. And trust me, once you do, you're going to be like, oh, these coins? Okay.
No. Like, I should probably explain why I guess I don't think our book club knows this, but I will admit this out loud. I know I'm gonna get a bunch of messages after this. Y'all will be okay when I say this. I gave myself to the end of 2020 to get monetized, or I was going to stop making YouTube videos. Now, before everybody flips out, here are my reasons. One, my business is growing. It's doing fantastic. Two, I have ventured into multiple forms of extra income. So that means that my time is a little bit more valuable, honestly. And I don't have time to sit and make videos that are only getting like 20 views, because that doesn't pay me anything. And doing YouTube videos is hard work. The fact that we have to somehow prove that we deserve to be paid for all the hard work we do in our videos is just mind-boggling to me. And then when YouTube changed their whole rules about it, it's like, why? Because my nature is very ambitious. I have goals. I plan on having at least 7 streams of income by 2024. In order to do that, YouTube might have to go if it's not one of the incomes. That's just the way my life is set up. I'm set up to be that kind of businesswoman. So it's like, I look at YouTube. I enjoy making videos, but YouTube is also a business, a very lucrative business if you can get in on it. So I've been on YouTube since 2014. That's 6 years on YouTube. If I don't get monetized by now, I'm not getting monetized. That's just facts. So
I would like to take this moment to say that please go watch Brittany's videos.
This is
She
not
is very close. Hush. She's very close to monetization. Okay. We don't want her to leave this platform. We love her videos. Who else are we going to go to for the amazing fantasy recommendations and the makeup looks? Hopefully she brings back her wig videos. So for the love of God, please go watch her playlist. You can just have it in the background as you clean.
Listen, I need to preface this because I don't need nobody subtweeting me on Twitter. I did not say all that to get sympathy watches for my videos. So I just need to preface that. I'm just explaining to you, like, I view YouTube and Twitter and Instagram as marketing and ways to fuel my business. So, yeah. Who else will cringe at romance on video?
Exactly.
I mean, I'm getting better. I'm not cringing as hard, but I still laugh at y'all because I love watching the joy that you guys get from reading romance, but like, I've tried and I genuinely don't get it.
That is okay. But back to getting people to watch your video. Please do. And you know what? It's not sympathy views because you have great content. You have amazing content and you have a variety to choose from. So there you go.
I mean,
Go back to 2014. Start there. You've already watched all her recent ones. Go back 2 years ago. There you go.
I just laugh at y'all for that because, again, I appreciate the support. Do not get me wrong. But most of this hardcore support are from my friends that I've met on BookTube, because I am friends with a couple other fantastic people that I don't think I would have met if it wasn't for BookNet Fest. Because, again, I don't know. I don't think y'all know this, but like this book club stands for BookNet Fest.
We do.
Like we have a goal of hosting a live, like I'm just manifesting it so I can say it out loud. We have a dream of hosting a live podcast session like at the event. And then we also want to host like a Black BookTube event at the event one year. Like I know somebody might have an issue with that, but that's fine because I'm still standing by that. But yeah, like I love my book. I love this book club. I feel like it's, y'all don't understand. We spend so much time during the day where we randomly decide we want to talk about book club stuff. And then we start coming up with all of these different ideas that are perfect for the book club. And then we're trying to like project dates and like trying to gauge things, which brings me to my other one. You guys saw our tweet yesterday where we said something naked was coming, or naked. First of all, it's pronounced naked, not naked, naked. Something naked is coming, but it's not coming until October.
Yeah, we had to postpone.
Because just because we're postponing ours doesn't mean we didn't see what was going on Twitter.
Right.
The only thing is we saw the immediate reaction was to jump to one side. And therefore, it just did not feel right for us to continue with our original plans of releasing our Naked surprise in August. So we pushed it back because I'm still on this idea that Black women can support Black women, and we also have the power to come together as a unit and help each other grow. But there's no way to do that if we keep coming at each other on Twitter. It just makes it very difficult to figure out what's the next move when it looks like all we do is argue.
Yes. What's happening is we're creating a hostile environment for ourselves. And we're also creating these cliques, which I have no problem with people being friends with one another. I do have an issue when you're only supporting the people that are in your group. Everyone should be supported if possible. Everyone should be uplifted. But if we keep having these quarrels online, then it creates this hostile environment where we then are all just suspicious of each other a little bit, and we giving each other the side eyes. So I don't think that it's healthy for us as a community. I also just want to say that more than one of the same idea can exist, and we can all support each other. We have this trauma where we have this like crab in the bucket mentality, or we want to be that token person. But if somebody has an idea and somebody else has a similar idea and a third person has somewhat of a similar idea, all of the ideas are going to be different just based upon the fact that they're being presented by people who are different. There's no need where there's no reason why we should be competing against one another in a space where we're trying to build a community. Unless someone literally hacked into your phone or in one of those infamous group chats and jacked your idea word for word, graphic for graphic, there is no need why there isn't enough space for more than one of the same thing. So that's my problem, because it's like, well, we already have this. Another Black creator already made this, so you can't do it. Like, no, you can. Please do, because we need more of us supporting Black authors. We need more of us supporting Black writers who are writing in specific genres. We need more of us supporting one another. So that is my little PSA.
Also, to add to your PSA, if you know of somebody else in our community doing something similar, shout them out when you do yours.
Yes.
Because clearly you're not going to do it at the same time. I hope space it out so you can be like, well, if you don't have time to do it this time, you can participate over on so-and-so's channel and they do it this way. Like, there's a reason that there are a million different churches for the same religion.
Yes.
Like everybody receives stuff differently. So if we're constantly pointing or keeping ourselves to this idea of like, oh no, only one person already does this. No, we all should be out here doing this. Stop limiting ourselves to one activity per person. If we all stood up and started doing everything that we wanted to do, there would be no question about where we stand in this community.
Exactly.
Because we'd be able to be like, oh, no. So-and-so does that. Oh, yeah, so-and-so does that too. So-and-so does that too. It's a way of uplifting your community while also uplifting yourself. If you're constantly looking at our community from the eyes of a hater standpoint, you're never going to want to grow your community. You're only going to want to grow yourself and those who agree with you. When in reality, the only thing that does is create a different form of segregation within the community, as if we don't have enough of those in our community already.
If that ain't a word. And that's like the problem I'm seeing with the whole book Twitter situations that are popping up, is that we are creating this kind of division amongst ourselves where other Black women and Black creators are being othered out and singled out and kind of placed to the side of like, okay, well, we don't fuck with them no more. Like, they're canceled. And it's just like, okay, well, there aren't that many of us to begin with. I mean, we're growing, but there aren't that many of us to begin with where we can just be canceling each other. This helps no one. I was like, this is not conducive to what we're trying to build, what we have spoken about for years now, those of us that have been here for years, and what we have wanted. Like, we can't destroy it before it even has a chance to begin. Like, that would be so unfortunate.
And can I add that when a Black creator or woman, man, non-binary comes on Twitter and then says this Black creator did this, it's almost as if you're giving non-Black creators the go ahead to be like, oh good, don't gotta watch this bitch anymore. And it's just like, no, because then that's another Black creator that is being removed from the situation, that is now saying, okay, well, then why should I be on this platform? If I don't have a space, if I don't have a voice to do this, then they're going to leave and there's going to be less and less and less of us.
Yeah, because we get punished differently. Like the same way you get punished differently in real life, we get punished differently on Twitter. We get executed on Twitter. We don't even get time to do or say anything in our defense. And God forbid if it was a lie that got you crucified in the first place. Then what are you supposed to do? Yeah. And it's just like, I keep saying this over and over again. I don't have to like you, but I understand you're in my community. Therefore, you will be uplifted. Now, I'm not going to be fake about it, but I'm very clear. I don't have to like you to support growth in my community, because my community should not only consist of people that I like. That's not a community. That's a dictatorship. It's like, very true. Everybody, to have a stable community, you need people of varying degrees of ideas and varying degrees of every part of life in order to succeed. The differences is what makes the community. The acceptance of the difference is what makes the community. It's just like, I need people to understand that. It's just, I mean, and Jerry does have a point. Idea theft is real on BookTube. But here's how you can make the difference between idea theft and actually like creating your own thing. If you make something or create something and you already know that there is something out there like it, then you need to respect the creator. You need to acknowledge that the idea out there already exists. If you didn't know that it existed when you made it, I encourage you to do research, because just Google it, you'll find it. So like, if, say for example, if I do a fantasy readathon that's on dragons, but then I learned that there's another girl that already has one like it, it's not going to stop me from doing mine. But what I will acknowledge is that I know that there is another readathon that exists by this booktuber, and they do it during this time. And I will I'm a person that creates my own stuff a lot, and the book look thing is something that I feel like I was doing first. But now that it has a name, and it was a name created by a Caucasian woman who gave no credit whatsoever. So I'm very serious about that idea theft thing. We do need more book looks, by the way. Like, we definitely need more like why not? Let's integrate other parts of our life into BookTube. But at the same time, recognize that it wasn't you who started it. You're not as in, like, don't come on there like, oh, this was my idea. I came up with it. This is all mine. Nah, don't like this. Do you, but respect who started it. Like, I'm
People
not with
don't
that foolishness.
No, people don't do research. Like, that's one of the things I always do. Like, if I have an idea for a tag or for a video, I will literally just do a simple YouTube search and Google search to try to see if it's already been done or someone has already had that idea previously. That's not going to stop me from doing what I want to do, but I will go ahead and watch what they did, kind of look at their prompts, look at how they did it. And so that I'm not like unconsciously completely just jacking their ideas, and I can make mine a little bit more, differentiate mine from theirs. And then I give credit, like, oh, I thought I came up with this, and then I did some research and I found out so-and-so has done this in this month, this year, this time. Please go check out their video. Thought it was great. Mine's a little bit different. Here's mine. And I think that that's important, but because people have this idea that if they give credit where credit is due, that in some way it takes away from them. And it's just like, no, it doesn't, because people who rock with you are still going to rock with what you're doing. It doesn't take away from you to credit someone who came up with it. Like, that doesn't make any sense.
Right.
Also, I've seen booktubers who will create something. It doesn't necessarily have to be a tag, but it could be any type of book related video. And their quote unquote acknowledgement will be in the beginning. They'll go, so I looked up to see if this was done before, and it was, so I'm not going to say I'm the first person to do it. And then they never mention the person. They don't put them in the description. And I'm like, wow, the shade. I'm just like, you could have just been like, I'm going to leave the link to the video down below. If this person, move on. And the same thing kind of for tag videos. I'll see people do tag videos and completely ignore who originally made it. And I'm just like,
I've seen that too.
Wait. Like, for instance, the mid-year book freakout tags, I want everyone to go into YouTube and type in, I think her name is Earl Grey Books.
Yep.
And listen. She does not have even half enough subscribers for creating that tag.
Right. And that's the tag we see every single year. There's no reason why she should not have more subscribers. She literally created a tag that gets done every single year.
Yup. I think she actually co-created with somebody else, but that other person I don't think makes videos anymore or something.
I don't think the other person makes videos anymore.
I would understand.
Yeah, but that's the example what we're talking about. And there's a reason that they created it. Other people can do it. But what is so hard about crediting people? You know that actually messes up your so-called friendships on Twitter? Like,
it sure does.
Like, but that's the thing. It's like, respect people. Why don't she got more followers? And I say this as a person who I'm not even sure if I follow her, and I need to fix that like now. But she created a tag that we all do.
Yup.
Every year between June and July.
It's a mess, isn't it? Like,
and it was created 4 years ago.
Exactly. Yes. Why are we not tagging her in our description box? Why is she not the first thing that comes up on the description box and all of those mid-year freakout tags?
Yeah, when I actually found her channel, I was shocked. I was like, wow, what? She has like nowhere near as many subscribers as I thought she deserved.
Yeah, I mean, it took me a while to find who did the original one because there's so many of them when you Google.
Yeah, you have to really, really dig deep.
Yeah. See, and Jerry also said that like that's her and the Back from BookNet Fest tag. I always credit Kathy for creating the BNF tag. She inspired me. That's what we're talking about because I enjoy in Jerry's. I didn't even know that there was another one, but I know that if I check her description box, that credit is there. It's just, thank you. If you are confident in yourself, there is no reason why you should feel uncomfortable giving credit where credit is due.
Amen.
It's like if your insecurities come out when you want to give credit to people, you need to ask yourself why. Is it because you're not as creative as you thought and you need to accept that reality?
That's not a read. I don't know what is.
Right. I mean, but honestly, and I only say this because again, I do a lot of drawing and stuff for my business. And one thing that I hear a lot is they're like, oh, like, I want to do something like yours. And it's like, I would appreciate it if you didn't, because this
Right.
is
Ooh,
money.
hold
Like,
up.
oh, but I like your idea. Yeah, but this is like my business. Like, I'm currently working on trademarking things, which, by the way, trademarking is expensive. Keep that in mind. For everybody that's growing their booktube channels and trying to turn it into a business, always think about trademarking your name. So go ahead and start saving up them AdSense money, because it's not cheap. But
Wow.
But I truly believe that a genuine person that I can respect is a person who is not afraid to give credit where credit is due.
Right. I will make one caveat to our building up the Black community and not throwing Black women under the bus. If you expose yourself to be a coon, I may or may not drag you. Okay, because I have no tolerance for coonery or foolery. Okay, you may or may not get dragged by me. You may or may not be Look, you may or may not be subtweeted by me, because I ain't got. At that point, I have no more fucks to give. I'm like, oh, so you're not for me to begin with? Okay, I see.
Oh, that brings up one more important thing. Trust in your own ideas to where you don't feel like you need to grab other people to actually get the idea rolling. Black women are some of the most innovative people in existence. We're so innovative that our ideas are literally spread throughout the world, and we don't get the credit we deserve. And they only get pushed by white women. Like, listen, if your idea is good, you don't need a white woman to push your idea. It will grow. Except that sometimes it might grow a little bit slower. That's fine. Oshale started this book club, and I want y'all to know we have gone through a name change, a brand change. We've expanded to our own YouTube channel, and we're thinking of going into a podcast. You know, the majority of our subscribers are Black women. Because we see the vision. We know our stuff is great. We don't need to be validated by people who have no stock in the vision in the first place.
Right.
So just keep that in mind when you're doing your stuff. Like, you don't need to look out there and think, who do I need to get here to boost this? Pimp yourself like you are your own number one hoe. I say this all the time. Like, I need to get this on a shirt. Like, I am my own pimp, and I am also my biggest hoe. I pull in all the money because I know I'm good. So the more we start thinking like that, the less we have to get this competitive mentality.
Yes. There's no need for you to think that you have to get a big creator or white creator behind your idea to have it have some sort of relevancy or success. I think that that's definitely a place where you have to realize that you have to start decolonizing your mind, and you have some internalized self-hatred, because why do you even think that that's something that you need?
Yeah, and like it might not shoot out and be like the best thing the first year. We had 7 participants in Throwback-a-thon the first year. Like, I think it was barely 7. So like, listen, it might be a little bit more of a slower crawl, but your supporters will be genuine. And they're not just here off of a fad. They're going to stay when it's over. And they're going to expect you to provide content that they continually enjoy. And they come back without you having to beg them. Because I keep using the book club as an example. We believe in our book club. Therefore, it's growing. We're already over 300 subscribers on our YouTube channel, which, by the way, took me like a whole year and some change to get 300 on my regular channel.
Okay, preach. Same.
Which I just look at the number, I'm like, dang, we had 300 something. But that's a perfect example. We step out on this idea that we know it's good. It's a faith thing that it takes. It's not like who's going to validate me? It's we validate ourselves, and this is the product we're putting out.
And also, I would like to add, correlating with having faith in yourself as a Black creator is also surrounding yourself with people who are going to boost you up 24/7. I can 100% say that I don't care if I put in the group chat, guys, I'm dropping out of school and becoming a stripper. I know for a fact Brittany and Oshile are going to be like weighing the pros and cons of each one, but at the end of the day, they'll be like, well, sis, we'll send you ramen noodles if you don't got no money. Like, I mean, I know for a fact.
To be clear, I will be like, Troy, I didn't know you bounced that ass, but
I cannot. I have a lot of ass, but I cannot do it. But
this work.
But I know that they'll be 100% supportive, and that's why I always my dad, when I was young, would always like, because I went to a lot of white schools, he would always like amplify having more Black friends, especially when I would come home, because there was a difference for me going to white schools and having mostly Latinx friends versus going home and then having Black friends at home, because they were people that I did not need to explain things to. And I love all my friends. I love the non-Black friends that I do have. But, you know, one of my best friends on the entire planet, I've known her since I was 8 years old. And I just know for a fact that if I ever need to talk about something that I know for a fact is Black related, I'm going to text the group chat or her. And I just think that that is something that really needs to be worked on with BookTube, is creating those friendships within our Black community and sticking to them. And even if, like Brittany said, even if y'all don't like each other, move on. Like, move on. You don't have to then tear this Black person down to then, like, what, make yourself feel better? Like, I don't get it. What are you really accomplishing by bringing down another Black creator? If you find that you two do not have a match, like the fact that the three of us, I know Brittany said keep going back to the book club, but the fact that we match so well and that we can get along so well is an amazing thing. But we see all these group chats do not have that thing. But if you are in a chat, if you're in a group setting and you don't like each other, please just say, you know what, this friendship is canceled. I'm not gonna cancel you on social media, but this friendship is canceled. Like, exactly, you go your way, I go my way, and then move on.
And the silver lining right now is that we are actually in a time on BookTube, and definitely the BookTube part of Book Twitter, where white creators and non-Black creators are making it a point to amplify Black voices and Black ideas. Mm-hmm. So I think that this is a great time to take advantage of everything that we've already said. If you have a great idea, you don't have to wait for a bigger creator or a white creator or a non-Black creator to push your idea or to give your idea validity or clout or steam or whatever. You can go ahead and put your idea out there. And there are actually people, white creators and non-Black creators, who are waiting to uplift you, because that is the environment that we are in and that we are creating moving forward. So there is no time like the present to plant your seeds. And also, I think another important thing is to realize that not everything is for you, and what is for you is for you. And that what other people are doing and how other people are growing and how other people are quote unquote succeeding, be happy for them, but don't focus on their success. Don't focus on their growth. Focus on yourself. Focus on your content, your idea, your growth, and continuing to make yourself better. And I think a lot of that, urge to want to take down each other or cancel each other comes from jealousy. I think there is that jealousy where you look at another creator and you see their subscriber count or their view counts or their engagement or their ideas, or I don't know, their bathing suit and their profile page. I don't fucking know. You look at them and you covet something that they have, thinking that if you just take them down, that you can have that too. And that's just not the case. That's just not the case. You need to focus on yourself. You need to focus on your content, making it better. You need to focus on your ideas. You need to focus on finding genuine friends within the book community that you can trust, that aren't going to throw you under the bus when you say the first suspect thing in a group chat. When you have the first bad day and you throw the first subtweet, they're not going to be like, well, so-and-so did this and I have the receipts to prove it. Like, you need to focus on you and what you're doing and how you can be a healthy part of this community that we're building, as opposed to looking at someone else and coveting what they have.
Also, if you focus on yourself instead of focusing on what you don't have, you gain this beautiful ability to be supportive of everything and everyone.
Yes.
Because listen, if y'all haven't gone to Ink Floor Studio, watch a couple journal videos and then go look at your journal. It's been multiple times. I've actually sent in the group chat like, well, thanks, Troy. I don't feel like posting a journaling video this week because it's gonna look like shit next to yours. I'm saying it in a joking way, but, like, I appreciate her differences because like the way that she edits is phenomenal. It's
so
very
good.
graded.
How do you do that?
Exactly. But that's what I'm saying.
So aesthetic. I'm like,
we are all so different, but Troy is the most aesthetically pleasing of all of us.
Oh yes. Period.
In social media realm, she kills us. We spend a good section of a day being like, so about that picture you posted on Instagram, it's phenomenal.
Like, what filter did you use?
Right. If we're not talking about her aesthetically pleasing, like muted, like journal videos, then we're asking Oshley, why did she have to put her whole snatched waist on her?
Oh my God. Oshley be pop locking and dropping on Instagram, but I'm like, oh shit.
I'm like, well, okay, sis, like come through.
That's like my only form of creative expression right now, besides
Listen,
writing.
you over here snatching souls and having us reevaluate our diets.
Stop.
Right.
Y'all are so stupid.
But that's the thing, like we can laugh and joke about that and be dead serious. I do not reevaluate my diet every time I see Oshley's pictures. I do not. That's
Listen,
just not.
sometimes I'm just like, damn, I need to mute Oshley because
right.
she is killing me.
I was like, oh, okay, so this dress is banging. Do we have under boob? Okay.
Why are y'all like this?
I'm just saying, the more you uplift other people, the more likely you're gonna be happy with, like, you find reasons to smile by watching people succeed. I love it when my BookTube friends are thriving. Like,
exactly.
I don't understand. It's such a good feeling to genuinely support people and not expect something out of it because you support them.
Right.
It's a nice feeling. I highly recommend you should try it. If your only reason for making friends is to somehow benefit, that's not a friend. That's a business partner.
And you're not going to get the full experience of actually connecting with people on this platform. Everything is going to be an exchange, a business exchange, and everything's going to be fake and nothing's going to be real. And you're not going to get the real benefits of actually making friends on here if you only befriend people because of their subscriber count or what they can do for you or whatever the case may be. Like, that's just not a good way to like exist on this platform. You're not going to have a good time.
And you know, when in doubt, minding your business is free 99. So if you have anything nice to say, just don't say nothing.
Oh, you don't have to say a word.
Seriously.
Here we go with R&B jams every live.
Every live, Brittany.
It's like, shh.
My thing is, unless somebody's being phobic, any phobic, pick one, or a
right?
coon,
There's so many.
Coon, you're not going to know that I don't like them. There are so many people that I dislike. You will never know. And I will continue to support them because I support their success. I don't have to like them to support their success.
Yeah, as long as they're not a phobic, cool.
Exactly.
It's like I'm a support, but also I know how to stay in my own freaking lane. I will shut up when it does not apply to me.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
I'm trying in the year of 2020 to not insert myself in everything because I'm not going to lie. I normally use Twitter just to start shit. So, like, I would interject myself into business that was not mine just so some like redneck tomfoolery dude would come comment so I could drag him for filth. Literally, that's what I would do on Twitter. But I've been getting a lot of, God's really been working on me a lot this year and been calling me out on some things. So I've really been trying to work on it. But like, honestly, I want to see, the only BookTube drama I want to see is like, why wasn't this book 20 more pages or something like that? That's all.
Yes, let's talk about Twilight. The new Twilight book's about to drop in a month. Can we talk about that? Can we talk about
No. If you start talking about Twilight, the only thing we're gonna get is the fact that the author is problematic and all that other stuff. We're not even going to talk about the book.
I just need to say this. This ties in with Twilight and Stephenie Meyer, but going back to Voldemort, I honestly feel that the people who are Yes. I honestly feel that the people who are supporting her or trying so desperately to support her actions, which are honestly are unsupportable at this point, they are trying to hold on to their childhood, and they are trying to hold on to their childhood memories from about Harry Potter. And all I have to say is, what the hell happened to separating the art from the artist? Okay.
Also,
I completely understand if you can't. There are a lot of people in the community that she was completely being derogatory and hateful towards, that have said that they will never read a Harry Potter book again. They will never identify as whatever house they were in. They will never go to the Universal Studios. And I think that is their right to make that call, because when someone comes out and speaks so hatefully against your community, of course you're going to cancel them wholeheartedly. But I feel like for these people that are so desperate to hold on to the fact that they still want to read the books, and they still want to go to the Harry Potter studios, and they still want to do this and they still want to do that, they're taking the wrong approach by defending something that's honestly should never be defended. Right. You just need to, at that point, you need to separate the art from the artist, continue to read the books, and continue to do whatever the heck you want to do, but don't support her as a person.
Also, we don't need to know about it.
Thank you. Up. Do it silently, please.
I'm so tired.
Silently read the books.
We don't argue about certain things. We don't argue about human rights. We don't argue about any of the phobics. And we don't argue, like, these are non-negotiable things. If you feel like after somebody has decided that they wanted to be a phobic, that you had to get on and go, well, I like the, no, sweetie, that's not what was said. We didn't say nothing. She wasn't talking about a book when she was out here being hateful. She was talking from her own preference. Therefore, if you still want to do what you're doing, just shut up.
Yeah.
Because if it's not calling out the bigotry, then what you doing? It sounds like you are co-signing her.
Yes.
So, like, I really want to know, is Voldemort paying y'all the bills?
Listen, I was like, at what point do y'all stop and say, this don't pay me a dime? I'm also not a part of the community.
No.
Let me shut the hell up.
I'll do my part. Like, I will never again publicly speak on her empire or her. I'm just going to pay her dust. But if I choose that 1 year I'm going to reread the Harry Potter series, you will never hear about it. It'll happen quietly and silently. Because that's the least I can do for the people that she offended and hurt. And I will never again support her with my dollars. That's all I know.
What is so hard about that? And Abominable brought up a good point. How many of y'all was ready to cancel Issa Rae because she said she was rooting for everybody black?
Yes.
But J. Karen Rowling can say something and now we all must jump to her side. What?
And make so many excuses.
That?
Yeah, no. Mm-mm.
I was like, it's cool. She don't have, like, there's so many other opportunities. This just opened the door for me to make sure that I find some real black wizards. Ain't nothing but a thing. This is a quick switch. Also, Harry Potter is a middle grade book. Let it go.
Thank you.
Let it go, people.
Let it go.
Let it go. If I understand, don't get me wrong, me and Harry Potter was cool peoples too, but let it go.
Yes.
This is a sign of change. I know 2020 has been rough for everybody, and you just feel like that might be the last straw.
For some people, it is. It honestly is.
For some people, it might be cool. Get a therapist. Talk about it. But that is a middle grade book which isn't even written very well. Let's be clear.
It's not.
It's a middle grade book meant for children. Let it go.
Yes. And that does not mean that it did not bring you joy when you were growing up. It does not mean that you don't have all these great memories. That's what memories are for.
Exactly.
That's what pictures are for. Whatever. You will always have those memories. But when it comes to, as Brittany was saying, when it comes to human rights, when it comes to people's lives on the line, you know, there are trans people being murdered. So
regularly.
When it gets that deep and it gets that serious, I'm sorry, a book series, your love for a book series has got to take a backseat. I am so sorry.
Like, nobody told you to burn your books. You can still keep your books. But shut up. If it's not saying that was wrong, shut up. There's no argument. Like, I have said this so many times just this year. I am not arguing about anything. Like, for example, Black being used as a political statement now. Like, I am not a color. I am a person.
Right.
Black is a human rights thing, not political. I'm not arguing with you. So if you have anything other than to say that you agree, we have nothing to talk about. This
Nothing
definitely is going to apply to some author I've never met. If I'm cutting off people I've known for years for less,
yeah, seriously.
come on. And it's just like, it cracked me up because the hypocrisy. It's like, y'all, first of all, I mean, to be clear, I ain't been following Voldemort since she tried to cap and say Hermione was Black. But
She just got annoying, didn't
I've never followed her.
Right, I used to until she started capping for Hermione being Black, and then I was like, "That's pandering." We know damn well she's not Black, and we are okay. Like, we don't want y'all to make characters that already exist Black. We want characters who are made Black and represented as something other than trauma or a stereotype that suits the need of a white person. We want our stories told as Black people. We don't need you changing your mind 20 years later.
The fact that she said, she was like, I never said what race she was. I was like, bitch, she had green eyes and ginger hair. What are you talking about?
I was like, because I thought I was tripping. I went back to the book and I was like, hold on. No.
Also talking about how she had bushy, unruly hair. I was like, are you trying to insinuate that was what you would consider Black people? Bye, sis. And that's when I stopped following her, like, at that moment. So it was just like, if I was unfollowing chicks for that, y'all should have known that I wasn't going to sit here and let anybody try to justify their love. Because I'm like, at some point, and honestly, the majority of the people that are on her side are honestly white women. Women, people who have never felt what it was like to be immediately ostracized for being who they are.
White women who think being into Harry Potter is a personality trait. That's what it is.
Yes. Troy. Shots fired.
But honestly, though, that's fact. Like, it's like, I can't wait till I found 2 books that might be Black wizards. Like, there's one called like Black Mage or something like that. I'm gonna get it. I'm gonna let y'all know. Because again, I'm not a writer, but if anybody wants to come talk to me, I have an entire magical world in my head that someone needs to write, because I'm not a writer. Like,
wait, where did this come from?
Wait, Brittany, what?
Listen, I've tried to participate in NaNoWriMo in 2015 when I first. Yep.
Why are we just now learning this about you? This
because I'm like throwing this at y'all, because I thought that there's clearly a way for me to get the story out. I lasted NaNoWriMo for 2 days. Why? Because I spent those 2 days drawing the map and not actually writing, because I came to the conclusion, like, I'm not a writer. I'm an artist.
Hold on. Clearly, we need to talk after this live. Clearly.
Yeah.
I couldn't say it to you because I need you to finish the book you're currently writing. I couldn't say it to Troy because I need Troy to graduate and finish the book that she's writing. So, like, when one of y'all finish your book, then I'll give you my idea.
I still want to hear about it, though.
Me too.
I've had the same couple of, like, whenever I'm feeling really good, if you know what I mean. I'm not going to actually admit to anything statement wise on a live. But when I'm feeling really good, I have the same generalization of dreams. And it's like the same fantasy world. I had another part of the dream last night. I was so mad when I woke up, though, because my character died. But it's cool, because I was like, this is still up my alley because it's not a happy ending.
Oh my God, I can't. Of course yours wouldn't be.
You know me. I'm all for that, like, I don't need lovey-dovey. Like, if everybody dies, I'll be very satisfied.
What the heck?
Oh, speaking of satisfied, can we also have a brief moment here to talk about Hamilton?
Oh, okay.
And the hate that I've seen it getting for the stupidest reasons of all time.
Wait, what?
People, it's not historically accurate. Sis, you watching a play for historical accuracy?
Yeah, what the heck? Of course it's not historically accurate. That was never the point.
I mean, it's not historically accurate. There are Black men playing the founding fathers. clearly wasn't nobody caring about accuracy.
Yeah, not at all.
It's like, I love watching musicals. I love getting my whole life, and to watch people be like, "Oh, well, it was okay," and it's like, why was it okay? What? Well, I just wasn't really feeling it. Why weren't you feeling it? And then like I had a girl like tell me she was like she wasn't really feeling the actors, and I was like, was it their color or was it their acting? Because Close Your Eyes,
Wow.
they act phenomenally. Choreography is on point. All of them can sing. Every chocolate man on that stage could hold a note. And then sis that played Angela, or I'm sorry, not Angela, Angelica, listen, all of them could sing and hold notes. Like, to me, the least acted person on the stage was Lin-Manuel Miranda, and that says enough right there. So I was like, now what about this made you uncomfortable? And she's like, it was different. I don't really know. And I was just like, please just admit that you didn't like the fact that it was Black people and other people of color, because the only white men that were on there were like King George, which I loved. Wow. But the people that were literally making comments, I wanted to ask them, are you saying this because the whole cast was Black?
People really expose their own racism and they don't even realize they're doing it.
Yeah, like I'm totally fine with you not liking it, but give me a real reason. And when you can't give me a real reason, I can't help but think it's because it's a Black cast that you got a problem with it. Now, if you tell me that you like, I don't speak theater. They didn't really have theater in Dodd schools. Like they did, but like I did everything else really. But theater. So I don't have the jargon. Like if you explain to me why you felt something was off, then I'd be like, cool. But you just being like, oh, I didn't really like it. Why? Why? Just tell me why. And that brings me to another thing. To every new person out there that is experiencing books written by Black authors about Black characters not going through slave drama or drug drama.
Yes.
It's totally fine for you not to like the book, but you're going to have to actually give me reasons for not liking the book. For example, old girl that reviewed Slay, don't know her name. She deleted the video. No point. She starts off with a thumbnail with her face looking all types of screwed up. Slay next to it, and on top of it, it says bad rep. What would you think by seeing that thumbnail?
Black people?
No, that she doesn't like the book.
Well, right. I don't think she was saying that there was bad Black representation.
Right. It said bad rep.
Oh, yeah.
So then, I click on the video, and she's like, oh, like some of you guys probably thought that I came on here thinking that I was going to say it was a bad representation of Black people. I'm not Black, so I can't say anything about that. I was like, okay, clickbait, bet. Then she goes, I don't usually make book review videos. I was like, hell.
Everything you say after that now becomes.
Then I'm not a coder. I'm not an engineer. I'm not a gamer or anything like that. Okay. So then she proceeds to start talking about the book and how it was cringy because she didn't like the coding terminology that was used in the book.
But you don't know coding.
But this book is about a Black girl gamer who created a safe space for Black gamers to not have to deal with shit. And the only thing you came out of this book was, I didn't like the coding terminology that you yourself just admitted that you don't really know. And I'm just like, listen, critique our books on the same caliber you critique everyone else's. If you do not nitpick every other person's books, do not look at a Black author's book and feel like you have to find a problem with it. No, you might not relate to them being Black, but I'm fairly certain you can relate to a high school girl in high school just trying to do something that she loves and hiding a secret from her parents. That's not a color thing. That's just being a freaking teenager.
Facts. So
anytime y'all sitting here always talking about, I can't relate. Can you relate to being a fairy? A wizard? Oh, you got a kingdom in England? Oh, right? Your sister breathes fire?
Right.
You relate to all of that? But you love those? Black is not the only thing that's relatable in a book written by Black people. We do things the same way everybody else does, but for some reason, you can't look past the color of our skin to see that we are actually more alike than you realize, and therefore now you got to find a problem. Like, I don't have time for this shit, and if I see it again, I am dragging you on a video. That's just my warning, because I'm tired of this shit. Oh, I'm so happy. I'm going to read books by Black authors. And the first freaking book review you choose to do is a book you're not qualified
to even review.
You disqualified yourself in your own book review and then was shocked that everybody was like, the fuck?
Wow.
I don't review books that I know I'm not qualified to review. You will never see me review a romance book. Never. I'll review any fantasy book because that's my genre. That's the genre that I love to be in. But at no point have you ever seen me specifically say in a freaking fantasy book that I didn't like it because of the color of their skin.
Right. That part.
It's like, stop it. You can't relate to a lot of the books that you read.
You can't. And my problem is these would be the same people that will read, not to bring it up again, but I feel like it's become our brand, The Hate U Give, and give it 5 stars.
It is our brand.
Talk about
I hate that that's our brand.
They'll give it 5 stars, talk about how it moved them, how it's one of their favorite books of the year. So you need to ask yourself why you're so comfortable with Black trauma, but not Black joy. Okay? You need to ask yourself that.
Ooh. A word.
A word.
It's true though.
That is a tweetable quote. You need to ask yourself why you are so comfortable 5-starring Black trauma, but
that is merch. That is merch stuff right there.
Listen.
Look, if I see it on Twitter, I know who took my idea. Credit me. So.
I'll credit you. Don't worry.
Oh my God, I'm crying.
I'm just, I just needed to get that out because that was deep in my spirit. Because I was like,
I felt it.
Well, because I understand that people didn't like Slay, they didn't like the ending, and they didn't like who the person was. I get that, but like as a Black female gamer, I wish that there was a space like that. And plus, I spoke to Brittany Morris about her book, and she's also in the gaming community, and it literally is in the gaming industry. So it was like she completely understood me, and it was a way of being seen. And to see somebody try to say that the book wasn't worth it for stuff they don't even understand was just like, so you were just looking to be controversial. Basically. I can't take you seriously because you literally are out here looking for clout in a place that you don't belong. And you are in my space at this point trying to get clout. So it's very easy for me to just be like, I don't like you. I don't like your mama. I don't like none of y'all.
Facts.
But it's okay, Abominable. We were all confused as to what she was talking about because I watched the whole video before I decided if I was going to comment, because I was genuinely just like, so what about, like, what happened in the book? Tell me what happened in the book. Only focusing on the coding terms that are used in like 3 or 4 sentences. Because the focus of the book wasn't her coding. The focus of the book was her space being invaded by someone who wasn't welcomed.
Right.
So, I mean, we can literally have a whole conversation on creating space and what work it takes to create a space. We could totally do that one day, but that would have to be like an entirely separate live because that's a stressful conversation.
It would also be a workshop that you would have to pay for.
Facts. Listen, I forgot about that. In 2020, Brittany is always here to answer questions. But if it gets to a point where it comes into my craft, Brittany will also be looking at consultation fees.
Yeah, don't do stuff for free. Don't give away. Well, it's a fine line, but when it comes to the point where you're giving away like valuable knowledge that people should pay for, I highly believe that they should pay. And I think that there's just this weird stigma that as Black people, I think it's a rollover. It's definitely a rollover from slavery. That we should always be able to, we should always labor for free, and we should always give away our things for free, our talents, our gifts, our knowledge. And so I'm that person. I'm that friend that's going to be like, no, that will be a workshop with a fee.
Hey, I'm beginning a lot of practice in these subjects, so you know, I'll be setting up a workshop at some point. Oh, Abominable brought up something fantastic. Since this is about friendships, can we cover the Babysitters Club and the insufferable character that is Christy Thomas?
Wait, that is
I feel so
seen all the tweets. I have seen all the tweets on Christy Thomas, and I haven't watched it yet. But y'all hate her.
okay. Here's the thing, though. That's how she was in the books, so I'm confused.
I'm about to say, was she annoying as crap in the books too?
I was gonna say I feel so seen because I couldn't stand her.
Really?
She was one of my least favorite characters in the book.
Yeah, I was just like,
I wanted to fight her when I was younger.
I hated how bossy she was and how because of her bossiness, she tried to run Marianne because Marianne was kind of like secretly my favorite next to Jessie, obviously. And I think I liked Claudia, Marianne, and Jessie were like my three favorites. And then
clearly Claudia was mine.
Claudia was amazing. And then Abby from New York was like an honorable mention.
Oh yeah.
The ones I found insufferable were Christy, Stacy, and Dawn.
Dawn was so insufferable.
Dawn was insufferable. Like she was just like, I'm perfect in every way. I'm from California. I'm a vegetarian. I love the environment. I'm so chill. I'm not like other girls. Like she was.
And you know what? I
made like other girls.
I made the mistake of believing that the movie would make me feel better about her, and it got worse.
It got so worse because in the movie they made her Latina. Now she's Latina.
Yeah.
Yes, I was like, because when she showed up, I was like, who is this Latina girl? Was she in the books? Because Dawn was blonde, a blonde white girl.
Yeah, Dawn was a blonde white girl from Cali. You are so right. I forgot all about that random.
All of a sudden, she was Latina. I was like, hold up. You couldn't find a dark-skinned black girl to play Jessie, but make Dawn Latina. I have questions.
Man, listen, we're not going to talk about how I feel failed by what they picked for Jessie. We will never, because I was so distraught because Jessie was definitely described as a dark-skinned black girl.
She was. And in the book covers, she was dark-skinned.
And yes, on the book cover, she was dark-skinned.
And they already, no offense to the girl that they cast to play Jessie, but they already had changed Marianne to a biracial girl. I am also confusion on that. I'm literally watching the first episode about that too. And I kept staring at Marianne's face and I was like, hold up, are you one of us? I was like, hold on, let me see that curl pattern. Wait. One of us. And I texted the group chat. I was like, all right, so apparently Marianne is biracial. but then they didn't make her parents black. Like her dad was a white man and her mother was a white woman. And that's when I was just real confused. I was like, so is she passing? Are we making a social statement right now? I was like, what is happening?
Shoot, listen, when I was younger, because I was scholastic, I got one Babysitter's Club book a month. What I would have done to actually have been able to start a Babysitter's Club?
Oh my God. I tried to start one.
Yo, me too. I don't even like kids like that.
How did it go?
I tried to start one. It did not work out very well because at the end of the day, all the girls wanted to charge their own different rates.
Oh, Lord.
And it just imploded after a while. Not to mention, the parents in our neighborhood were not about to trust us 12-year-olds to babysit their kids. They were like, one lady literally said, honey, call me when you're in high school, okay? Like, she was literally like, I gotta you babysitting my child. Like, I feel like
that is actual facts, though. That's actual facts.
Like, the whole concept was kind of absurd.
Now that you say that, it's like you were right. They were totally like middle school.
They were 12 and 13.
12 and 13 years old.
And I felt that's what made me feel like I could do it too. I was like, okay, I got this.
And then your neighbors were like, we appreciate the incentive, but no.
The parents were like, hell to the no. So
like,
that's
I mean,
I wasn't even allowed to sleep over people's houses, so that was never going to work.
Oh my
I was
God.
only allowed to sleep over the people's houses that I went to church with. Everybody else was a no.
Right.
My dad had like specific rules as to whose house I could go over. Like if they were like a single mom, it was okay. They couldn't have brothers. They couldn't have. I was like, oh my god! You know, it's so
Damn,
funny.
the
When I was like,
checklist.
when I was like 18, I went to my first official sleepover, and he was like asking me those same questions, and I was like, in word, I know you are not still asking me these things. And he started busted out laughing, and he was just like, oh damn, you're 18, I can't even tell you shit no more. I was like, sure can't.
Oh my god, I
man.
cannot.
Yeah, see, I
Also-
didn't have cousins. Well, no, I had one of my uncles was in Japan with us for like the first couple years of my life. So sleepovers were mainly at his house.
Nice. He probably let y'all do whatever you wanted, huh?
Listen, this is the only uncle that admitted that I'm his favorite niece. Like, he actually admitted it. And I was like, this is the most success I've ever gotten. He is my favorite uncle of all time. But at the same time, okay, so on the base that we lived in these buildings that we called the towers. And the towers had 9 floors. And then on each floor, there was like 10 families on each floor because they're full-size apartments. So they were huge buildings. So we lived in like building 2 and they lived in like building 4, which was just across the park. So it wasn't like we were really doing anything spectacular. Plus, at that time, I was the youngest.
Okay.
So I didn't see the value in that. But it wasn't until we started going to church. And then you know how Black people are. You're either in church all day or you're like hanging out with the people from church all day on Sundays.
Yes, this is facts.
So that's how I would get to spend the night.
Right? Church be like a whole day affair.
Church was a whole day affair. Thank God we've moved from that because Lord.
Yeah.
Well, I'm Catholic, so it was like 45 minutes and then I went home.
She's like, we get in, we get our healthy dose of guilt, we confess, we leave.
That Southern Baptist back in the day used to drive me nuts. But all of my friends were my church friends. Like we all went to the same high school because there was only 2 high schools on Okinawa. But it was like the same. I would see them at church and then I see them at school. Those were my friends because that's who we spent the most time with.
But also, I went to Catholic school and it was like so intense. I remember when I was in like 3rd grade during religion classes, our teacher would like scream our name. You'd have to stand up, and then she'd go, "Who baptized Jesus?" And you had like 2 seconds to answer. And if you did not answer, I remember she used to have this like ruler, and she would like slam it on your desk. And I'd just be like, Jesus Christ.
I'm not trying to get funny, but you actually went through that. Like I see that on TV and I didn't think that was real.
Oh no, it's real. Like I remember in 1st grade I had a nun teacher who like threatened to whoop me.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
I actually stopped going to Catholic school in like I think 4th grade. But not because of that, because my parents couldn't afford it. So
that's crazy.
mean, shit.
Yeah, that's a whole nother conversation.
I wish somebody would threaten to whip me. I'd have called my mama so quick.
Right?
Mama, this nun said she was gonna try to whoop me.
my grandma would have literally been like, "What did you do?" Because she's an old Catholic, and it would have been like, "Oh no, you doing too much over there."
Oh no.
Dang. Oh no is right.
Listen, I'll take all that shit for 45-minute church.
I mean, now the church that I go to would be like 45 minutes. It's an hour if you wanted to give a shout out to somebody or talk about announcements. But that was it. Like I'd be in and out of church now. And I tell my parents all the time, this is how I know y'all was just being extra.
Extra AF.
Because they too, my parents have a church now. No, I'm not a PK. They had the church when I was a full adult.
Oh, okay.
But even they church services be like an hour. Like, oh, so y'all know how to do that?
Right.
Like,
had us in here all day as kids.
All day. Be having snacks in children's church because you know you got 3-4 hours left. Listen, no.
You know what the most traumatic thing was for me? None of that stuff was as traumatic as I made my confirmation, which, if you don't know, it's like what Catholics do to confirm you're going to stay Catholic the rest of your life.
Mm-hmm.
Oh God.
That's really intense.
It's intense. But everyone in my class, I basically like, you know, all their parents like were my parents' friends, or at least my dad's friends. And so I remember the girl in front of me, I'm not gonna say her name, but the girl in front of me, we had to go to confession before our confirmation. And she goes, oh my God, he's not in this thing. He's not in this thing. I was like, what are you talking about? We had to do confession. Sitting in the priest's office, sitting right in front of the man who literally I have known my whole life. And I was just like, this is the most traumatic thing I have ever felt in my entire life. I hate this. I was so horrified. And we all just like got back into the room and looked at each other like they did us so dirty.
Oh no.
That's so sad.
The fact that you still remember that now says enough.
Well, you make confirmation in high school.
Oh wow.
Oh, yay.
Wow.
Wonderful.
Religion is an entirely different topic that will be discussed on another day because
Yeah, we could spend a lot of time talking about that.
I mean, actually we're 10 minutes away from our 2-hour mark. Hey, okay, so technically this is where we're gonna do our little like podcast review. Technically speaking, sound wise, it was great today.
Yes, it was.
We did lose both of you at varying times.
You know what? I'm starting to think Brittany's a witch and she's putting a spell on both Oshale and I.
Right.
First of all, don't do me. I am not a witch. My internet is just really expensive, so I don't usually drop out of things.
Yeah, seriously. I'm like, your internet is the most stable as all three of us.
I mean, I game heavily, so I told like it's literally the one thing that I was willing. I was like, how much is the most how much is it to get the best internet? And she was like, oh yeah, this. I'm like, oh yeah, that. She's like, you can get a deal if you get cable. I don't need cable if I have that.
That's for real.
Like I can stream, I can game, I can eat, and I can FaceTime all at the same time and not lose any of them. So yeah.
That sounds beautiful.
I paid for this, guys.
I feel that.
I just feel like podcast number 2 went much better because like sound wise, I think we're doing a lot better.
And nobody dropped the whole time.
Are you using your new mic, Brittany?
Yeah. Can you guys even tell a difference?
Yeah,
I can now.
So crisp.
Yeah.
It's like so crisp.
Oh, well, that means I can share with you guys the mic that I got because it wasn't super expensive. So look at us moving on up.
Oh, wow. Okay. Is it like a standalone mic or is it a plug-in?
It's a standalone. It's a USB. It's, what is it? The Snowball Ice.
Huh.
It's the mic that I use to do my voiceovers for my videos. So I figured, why not see how it sounds like when we do these kind of lives and stuff? Because I know you can probably hear my fan going in the background, but that's because it gets hot in here because I've yet to install the ceiling fan in this room.
I can't hear a fan.
I can't hear a fan.
Oh, well, I have a box currently over it trying to prevent sound. So this might be how I talk on our thing from now on.
Yeah, it's very good. It's very crisp.
Ooh, that means I can also do my Melanin Matters with this mic too. So we really about to be fancy.
Okay. I'm excited.
Also, thank you to everybody on that feedback from that last Melanin Matters as well. I really appreciate everybody taking the time to watch that super long ass video because, yeah.
It was like a very motivational speech.
Yeah, it's something I've wanted to do on my channel for a long time. So I'm stepping out on faith here and just doing what I want. And then what's received is received and what's not, it's not. But we're going to actually like wrap it up here, guys. It's been fun. As usual, our random chats are always so interesting.
They really are. They go in so many different directions.
They do. We try really hard to bring it back, but we usually sometimes fail.
Yeah.
I think okay. I wasn't the topic this time.
Oh my God. I mean, yes.
To be clear, you made yourself the topic last time.
No. I said one thing, and then Brittany had to add that how chaotic I am.
But you didn't, instead of being like, that's not true and leaving it, you just gave all the reasons of why.
You sure did. You expounded on that statement.
Right. There's a reason the audience knows that you changed your hair color, not me. But yeah, I think our next podcast test should be with the format.
Yes, we will start introducing a more formal format and just putting some things in place. I do want to make some announcements before we go. This was a random live, but we will be having our scheduled live on July 19th at 6:30 p.m. And that is when we will be discussing booktube events, or I guess current events of the community. And then let's see, anything else? We are, as a book club, participating in the Fuckathon.
Oh, yes.
Noria of Noria Reads. So just so you know, she is doing a readathon called the Fuckathon. It is running from, it started on the 1st, so this past Wednesday, and it's running through the 31st, so for the whole month. And then she'll be having a live wrapping everything up on Saturday, August 1st. Information.
But she's also doing weekly wrap up, or she's doing weekly lives on Saturday too. So you got to go on her channel. Because I know she did one this Saturday. So she says she thinks she's gonna do it again. So I'm gonna try to make it to one of her lives to, like, you know, be supportive, because, you know, we trying to really build the community here. So
yeah, the one on Saturday was actually really fun. It was like discussion in the beginning, and then we had like a 40 or so minute silent reading sprint, which was good.
Oh yeah, that's actually a really good idea. Also, if y'all don't know, Quarantine Pages is also still very much thriving and what's the word? Thriving and
going.
I guess we're gonna say going, thriving and going. Their times, I think only one day the time has changed. I think that's Friday. It's moved from like 2 p.m. to 7 p.m. But other than that, it's still very much going. So if you're looking for a place to read, always check the Quarantine Pages schedule too.
And I will say that Noria did post in her community tab the new schedule of all the times every day with the new hosts as well. So if you're looking for a concrete place to find all that information, Noria's community tab has it all.
I feel like we're missing a readathon or something within our community, but if I remember, I'll put it on my community page, or we'll put it on we don't have a community page on this page yet. So I'll put it on my personal one if I remember, because I feel like we're missing a readathon. And I feel like I'm going to remember it when we get off.
Yeah, I know that the pop culture one is happening.
Oh yeah, the pop culture. Who is the creator of the pop culture one?
I honestly have no idea. I've just seen so many people talking about it, but I haven't actually gone to find out who created it, just because I knew I wouldn't have time to participate.
Hold on, I'm gonna look just so we can shout it out appropriately, but I didn't think about that one. Pop culture readathon.
Yes.
Okay, Bookish Rome has a video. Be But Bookish has a video. Like, okay, so who is the creator? This is the question of the day. This is why crediting people in your description box is very important.
Yeah, because it's hard to find stuff.
Okay, there's a pop culture readathon Twitter.
Okay.
But I'm not seeing the creator. Also, Brews and Books, didn't know you existed. Follow you now.
Ooh. I'm always finding new booktubers and new Black booktubers every day.
Yeah. Yeah, the pop culture readathon is also for the month. It was created by Life with Me and co-hosted by Reading Parent.
Oh, wow. And a lot of people are participating.
Yes. So just figured I'd shout that out. If we missed any other ones, just let us know in the comments. At some point we need to have a calendar just for readathons.
Seriously. So many.
But yeah. We hope you guys have a fantastic evening. Don't forget, our live is on the 19th. And don't forget that this quarter's book pick is...
Oh, I'm sorry. Were you waiting for me to talk?
I forgot.
Behold the Dreamers.
Thank you.
By Imbolo Imbue.
There we go.
Yeah, and it's about the author is Cameroonian descent, and she currently lives in the United States, in New York specifically. But for those who are interested, it is a story about a Cameroonian immigrant family and how their lives intersect with the lives of their wealthier employers during the 2008 financial crisis. So it's supposed to be really good. A lot of people whose reviews and opinions on books I trust who've read it have said that it was really good. So I'm looking forward to it. You have time to get your copy. If your library is not open yet, I would highly recommend looking to see if you can get an e-copy, checking all the platforms like Libby, Overdrive, Cloud Library, Hoopla, see if maybe you can get a copy of it. But yes, you have until, let's see, July, August, September. You have until September to finish it. So you have plenty of time.
All right. You got anything, Troy?
Nope, I think that's it.
All right. Well, you guys have a fantastic night.
Bye, everyone. Thank you for
Bye.
joining.
Bye.